Take it away again, Mariama.
Well, thanks, Shaka. The National Electoral Commission of Tanzania says there are about 150 international poll observer missions in the country to monitor the upcoming October 25th presidential, parliamentary, and local elections. In Ivory Coast, the European Union has had 32 election observers in place since October 15th to monitor preparations for the vote with assessment of candidate campaigns, the role of the media, as well as the distribution of voter cards. Well, this leads us to our question of the week asking, do you think the upcoming polls in Tanzania and Ivory Coast will be free, fair, and credible? Well, thanks for using all our social media platform to communicate to us. Another reminder that we are tweeting live today. Just use the hashtag VOA African Elections. And if you haven't yet, do follow us. Speaking of it, let's go to a tweet from Hassan Nagaini, who writes, I may say yes, because Africa is now moving forward, moving toward free and fair elections. And a very good example of that is Nigeria. Another tweet from Gbenga Olejede echoes the previous tweet by saying yes, because Africans have realized what it takes and are really making their possible best to get things right, even elections. Our last tweet comes from Joshua Oshiang from Kenya, who disagrees with the previous two by expressing that no, the upcoming polls in Tanzania and Ivory Coast simply won't be. In a case, won't be free, fair, and credible. Well, let's now turn to a comment from one of our Facebook followers. We'll go to William Kokulo in Monrovia, Liberia, who writes, I believe the upcoming elections in these two countries are very important for the sustainability of democracy and sovereignty. It'll be free and fair to the outside world, but to the common people in these two countries, it won't be credible because it'll always be manipulated by the incumbent governments. Well, Shaka and Guess, a wide range of interesting points here. Your take.
Thank you very much. Daman, how do you react to that?
Well, I'm concerned about the election in Cote d'Ivoire for the simple fact that, you see, when we heard about Tanzania, I was glad to hear that candidates are running their campaign all over the country. In Cote d'Ivoire, it's not possible. No access to opposition candidate in the north, because the north is considered as what a stronghold. So when you send your flyers in the north, they'll tear them down. No access. So that tells us that the election is already rigged with fraud.
What about in the south? Are they able to campaign in the south?
Of course, because the south is a peaceful place. Now, the northerners are in the south, but we don't have access to the north. But in our area in the south, it's okay.
Where are the majority of the people, the population? Isn't it in the south?
In the south, in the west and the north. But the north is the stronghold of the rebels, so we have no access there. So whatever will be coming from the north is rigged with fraud.
So you will probably agree with someone who might want to say that, in fact, what you are holding in Ivory Coast is a selection as opposed to an election?
Exactly, a selection. We already know the winner.